Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke. My name is Wynn Hunt, and my pronoun... How's this? Better? Sorry about that. Whoa, I'm staring cross-eyed. Remedial microphone training.
It's new, we're learning.
My name's Wynn Hunt. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm honored to be the worship associate today. Today is Easter Sunday, the holiest day in the Christian calendar. We are also in the midst of Passover, an important annual celebration for our Jewish siblings and cousins. Today we gather to celebrate the beautiful possibilities, both of ancient rituals and stories, and the renewal and reawakening we seek to attain here in our own lives and communities. May we awake, may we arise to a more just and beautiful world for all. We acknowledge that our church resides on the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan nations and was later farmed and developed through slave labor. We recognize and respect the ongoing connection to this land by generations of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. May our gratitude and fellowship here echo and honor that rich history. Please join me in reciting our words of welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness or overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself or eager to engage with others, all who welcome all are welcome here. And our covenant. We commit to supporting each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Starry crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down, come on down, you want to go down. Come on, mothers, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sinners, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray,
Beautiful. Thank you. Good morning and happy Easter. Good morning. I am the Reverend Jen Raffensperger. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and it's my honor to serve as the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke. Now, the first thing I have to start out with is I've had questions from several of our younger folks to here today. No, I am afraid we are not doing our annual can hunt. It is too rainy. It was too rainy to hide the donations, and it's going to be a little too rainy to find them. But this, and the message passed on from Bonnie Evans, who coordinated this, the amount we collected for our little food pantry here and for Pack-A-Snack that helps kids in elementary schools served by Congregations in Action for kids who have food scarcity is tremendous. The outpouring of generosity has been tremendous. Sorry that the weather isn't cooperating today. Hopefully we'll have this much and more to hide next Easter. But thank you to everyone who did donate. We wanted to have it here to show you how much put together. It's wonderful. Thank you. So, back to your originally scheduled opening words. Welcome to Easter Sunday morning, a time when we turn our minds to rebirth and renewal after a period of suffering and loss. We know that life contains all these and many more contradictions, and we remind ourselves we are here because our ancestors survived, because so many of us kept going, kept doing, kept loving, knowing those times of renewal were coming even when they felt far away. So this is a poem by Ada Limon that I have used before, but I think that it's important to return to our sacred texts again and again to see how their meaning may renew as our perspectives do. This is called Instructions on Not Giving Up. More than the fuchsia funnels breaking out of the crabapple tree, more than the neighbor's almost obscene display of cherry limbs shoving their cotton candy-colored blossoms to the slate sky of spring rains, it's the greening of the trees that really gets to me. When all the shock of white and taffy, the world's baubles and trinkets leave the pavement strewn with the confetti of aftermath, the leaves come. Patient, plodding, a green skin growing over whatever winter did to us. A return to the strange idea of continuous living despite the mess of us, the hurt, the empty. Fine then, I'll take it, the tree seems to say, a new slick leaf unfurling like a fist to an open palm. I'll take it all. So I will invite Wynne to light our chalice as we join with Unitarian Universalist churches, congregations, and communities around the nation and the world in lighting the flame of our faith, the living tradition, that it may burn in our hearts as well.
Well, I would like to invite any of the young people who want to come up and join me today. We're going to have a moment and talk a little bit about Passover. You don't have to be a young person if you're curious. Thank you, Rev Jen. You are the young at heart. That is fine. Come on, come on. Yeah, I saved them.
Yes.
I saved them. Yes.
Faye, excuse me. Faye, we're sitting over here, Faye. We're doing it over here this time.
Yeah, come over here.
I know.
Come over here. I know. Change.
Come. Sit over here next to me.
Yeah. So, anybody know anything about Passover? Anybody know anything about Passover? It's a Jewish holiday. Yeah, it's a very important one. you know the story of the Exodus? You know that story? So it's it's an ancient story. It's told in the Bible, and it's told in other traditions and other myths as well. And a people are enslaved, and God says, I'm going to free you. And so it's the Jewish people, the Israelites, who are enslaved in Egypt. And God, have you heard of Moses? No? Oh, so Moses is one of the great prophets in the Bible. We sang, you do? You've heard of Joseph? Yeah, he's a descendant. We're all related. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we haven't met yet. I'm Uncle Scotty. Yes. Yeah. And you may call me Uncle Scotty. Anyone may. So I wanted to show you something. There's a famous song from Passover, and it's called Dayenu. And we're going to learn it and sing it, all right? And if the slide doesn't come up, that's okay. We have one, because Lynn made it, and it's fantastic, and she made it at 10:45. So thank you, Lynn. So there, look at that. So that's called, can you all see that? Can anybody read it? No, I didn't think so. But so look at the top right, the very top right. Can you see, actually, look at the left side of the page. Look at the left side and on the far right. Do you see that? Can you see that letter? It's the letter Daled, and it has a post and then a ceiling over it. So that letter is like God or the Spirit or the universe literally looking and watching over us. It's a beautiful thing. So this song is, it says, if God had only taken us out of Exodus and only freed us, that would have been enough. If God had only given us food, and he did, that would have been enough. If God had only given us a day like today, the Sabbath, that would have been enough. But he gave us all those things. Yeah, so that's a lot of gifts. All right, so the choir's going to help us with this song, and everybody's going to learn Dayenu. That's the only word you need to learn. Dayenu, it means enough. So here's the chorus. Da Dayenu, da Dayenu, da Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu. Okay, you got it? Great. Let me hear you all, congregation. Okay, we'll do it for you again. Here we go. And da Dayenu, da Dayenu, da Dayenu, 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 da Dayenu, da Dayenu, da Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu. All right, let's see how fast I can sing the verse before it. Okay, ready? Ready? How fast do you think I can go? Ilu hotziano mi Mitzrayim dayenu. Ilu hotziano mi Mitzrayim dayenu. Da dayenu, da dayenu, da dayenu, 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 da dayenu, da dayenu, da dayenu, dayenu, dayenu. One more time. Da dayenu, da dayenu, da dayenu, dayenu, dayenu. Hey.
Today, actually, yeah, if you turn my microphone on, thanks, Lynn. Things are different today. So kids are staying here in the sanctuary. There are, as always, activities out on the table, and you've already got stuff to draw with, so we welcome you to stay. Do we want to throw in a little verse, one verse of Hold On, just because we were doing it? Why not? Why not? Says Scott, like, sure. Throw another thing in. That transition into the reading. So that was singing the children back to their seats, even though they were already back in their seats. So we have two readings this morning. And our first reading is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 28, verses 1 to 10. After the Sabbath, at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men. The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me."
See if I can do this right this time. Our second reading this morning is a poem by Naomi Shihab Nye entitled, "I Feel Sorry for Jesus." People won't leave him alone. I know. He said, "Whenever two or more are gathered in my name," but I'll bet some days he regrets it. Cozily, they'll tell you what he wants and doesn't want, as if they just got an email. Remember telephone, the pass-it-on game, where the message changed dramatically by the time it went all the way around the circle? Well, people blame terrible pieties on Jesus. They want to be his special pet. Jesus deserves better. I think he's been exhausted for a very long time. He went into the desert, friends. He didn't go into the pomp. He didn't go into the golden chandeliers and say, "The truth tastes better here." See, I'm talking about like I know. It's dangerous talking for Jesus. You get carried away almost immediately. I stood on the spot where he was born. I closed my eyes where he died and didn't die. Every twist of the Via Dolorosa was written on my skin. And that makes me feel like being silent for him, you know? A secret pouch of listening. You won't hear me mention this again.
Thank you, Wynn. I feel sorry for Jesus. People won't leave him alone. I know he said, "Wherever two or more are gathered in my name," but I'll bet some days he regrets it. When I was in seminary, one of my professors paraphrased this particular bit of scripture in a memorable way. Now, this phrase also comes from the Gospel of Matthew, which we heard a little bit of today. It came from earlier in its telling of the life and ministry of Jesus in chapter 18, verse 20. "For where two or three gather in my name, there am I with them." In one of our congregational studies classes, my professor updated this to, "Wherever two or three gather in my name and aren't total jerks about it, then I am with them." In the interest of full disclosure, she did not use the term total jerks. She used a term I am loath to use from the pulpit, but it comes to about the same. Oh, how we laughed, right? All these students, these hopeful ministers to be, appreciated this nod to the fact that When we spend a lot of time in churches, we are unfortunately sometimes witness to behavior that, well, maybe doesn't belong in a church, that maybe doesn't belong anywhere, at least anywhere we mean to talk seriously about love and human community and how we do the hard transformational work of companioning one another through the darkest of times when renewal and hope feel impossibly remote. Do not be afraid. We hear that phrase repeated twice in the reading from Matthew. First of all, there's an otherworldly creature dressed in white so bright as to be blinding and tells the women not to be afraid after an earthquake and the guards being struck unconscious and the lightning appearance and the revelation that their friend, whose execution they had witnessed mere days before, was no longer in the tomb. Then that self-same friend appeared before them quite alive to their eyes, and what they are told is, do not be afraid. Seriously? When they were taking their leave of the angel, but before they encountered Jesus, we hear, quote, so the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid, yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples, quote. Afraid, yet filled with joy. What a summation of the human experience in uncertain times when one suddenly catches a glimpse of something that might just be hope. What went through the minds of those women? And I'm always going to take a moment to pause and point out how significant it is that in all four Gospels, women are the first witnesses to the resurrection, to the reawakening of hope in the world that is the foundational story of Christianity. And believe me, when you look at the history of how the books of the Bible were put together, if there were some Gospels that didn't have that option, I think they would have chosen one of them. So I just want to name that, right? But what on earth did these women think and feel when the tomb was empty? When they met a man who seemed both to be and not be their friend, and not in every gospel do they recognize Jesus, because he wasn't the same broken and battered person that they had buried. As they considered this man, this strange vision, he gave them their second, do not be afraid, reassuring them that even though reality appears confusing and terrifying, hope does in fact arise. He wants them to find comfort and reassurance, though he understands the strangeness of the situation. Oh, but what am I doing? See, I'm talking like I know it's dangerous talking for Jesus. You get carried away almost immediately. You do. I do. I want to go to this well and draw from it what I wish to receive from it. Whatever might have been done and said on that Sunday morning long ago is lost to the fog of time. What we have now is all the talking for Jesus that has been done over and over by different people for different reasons throughout all of history. Now, people can make any meaning they like from any text they choose. We can twist beautiful words into hate and transform hateful words into beauty. I know that there are people within the sound of my voice this morning who have had the stories of the life of Jesus used against them to do harm and sow shame and pain, and how I wish that had never happened. I wish I could somehow prevent it from ever happening again. But it's happening right now, somewhere in this country, somewhere in a church, where far more than 2 or 3 are gathered. They're gathered in what they claim to be the name of Jesus, but they are being total jerks about it. Cozily, They tell you what he wants and doesn't want as if they just got an email. Remember telephone, that pass-it-on game where the message changed dramatically by the time it rounded the circle? Well, people blame terrible pieties on Jesus. They want to be his special pet. Jesus deserves better. I think he's been exhausted for a very long time. I suspect that if the historical Jesus could know the sorts of things being done and said in his name, he would not be happy about it. But there I am again, right, trying to project my experiences and understandings as a middle-class American white woman living in the 21st century onto the scattered and inconsistent historical record of a Palestinian Jew, a brown man living over 2,000 years ago under the rule of the Roman Empire. It's dangerous every time we do it. We are witnessing that every day here in our country where white Christian nationalists pervert the message of Jesus, of loving thy neighbor, of feeding the hungry and housing the unhoused and comforting the prisoner. Every day under the banner of Christian nationalism, people in our country are neither. They are unchristian and they are not serving the interest of our country or our Constitution. They are serving only the false prophets who center their own agendas, egos, and search for power. It's enough to make you want to flip some tables, I'll tell you what. But here we are. Every single one of us, no matter what hurtful theology has been thrown at us, no matter how people have twisted beautiful words into arrows to aim at our hearts, we are here because of so many untold generations of ancestors who survived, who kept going when they were scared, who held true to their word and their responsibility even when the world around them didn't seem to make sense anymore, who found a way to say yes again and again in a world that wanted them to shut down, to say no, to turn away from words and deeds that might inspire them to kindle a flame of hope in their hearts, despite everything. More than the fuchsia funnels breaking out of the crabapple tree, more than the neighbor's almost obscene display of cherry limbs shoving their cotton candy-colored blossoms to the slate sky of spring rains, it's the greening of the trees that really gets to me. When all the shock of white and taffy, the world's baubles and trinkets leave the pavement strewn with the confetti of aftermath, the leaves come. Patient, plodding, a green skin growing over whatever winter did to us. A return to the strange idea of continuous living despite the mess of us, the hurt, the empty. Fine then, I'll take it, the tree seems to say, a new slick leaf unfurling like a fist to an open palm. I'll take it all. That shock of white and taffy in the poem, the bright audacity of spring, sets up an echo in my mind of the impossibly white garment of the angel. Who living in that age and time could possibly get clothing that white and bright? How could they couldn't even make clothing that white and bright. Are we not constantly being coated by the dust of the world? The worry and heartache and sorrow and anger and fear and all the dust that lands on us, that weighs us down. Who could expect to look at the mud after spring rains and see anything so bright and beautiful arising from it? But without that mud, we would never get the blossoms. No mud, no lotus, right? Without the dust of this world, there is nowhere for our roots to take hold. Our roots and the roots of all of us everywhere for always who have rooted in times of darkness and fear and never stopped seeking the light and the joy. It is dangerous anytime any of us purports to speak for another, to know the inner thought and landscape of another. Ada Limon is careful to tell us that it's what the tree's unfurling leaves seem to say. The interiority of the tree is not assumed, but that does not diminish the beauty and meaning that we can take from it when we see it happening. When we get a sign or a sight or a signal that there is still good in the world, that there are people still gathering by 2 or 3 or ever more who are trying very hard not to be total jerks about it, about any of it, we are allowed to take on that hope as a part of our sacred vision for the world. Of course, we know there are people out there acting like jerks about this, about the story of Jesus, about any meaning we try to make that is generative and full of hope. There are people who would deny not just the existence, but the sacredness of our immigrant neighbors, our transgender neighbors, our neighbors who speak other languages and practice other faiths and come from other cultures. We know. We know they're there. They exhaust us. And that exhaustion can make hope hard to reach for. But really, we don't know. None of us know the interiority of Jesus. None of us know the soul of the tree. None of us know the heart of our neighbor, the pain they may have experienced that is leaking out in ways perhaps they don't even understand. Fine then, I'll take it. Please know that if you take it, you do not have to keep it. I am not here to advocate for any of us harboring in our hearts for a single moment any abuse or hate directed at us or people that we love. I am here to advocate for learning to see that as dust. As dust we can shake off, dust that after transformation may become fertile soil. Like last week's earthworm, there may be thoughtful, slow transformation available to any of us. But we are not responsible for the others doing that work. We can only be responsible for ourselves doing that work. If we take it, we are also empowered to let it go. I'm sorry, dust. I'm sorry, neighbor. I'm sorry, mud. I'm sorry, winter. I'm sorry, Jesus. For all the harms that are done in the name of any and all of those things, may we remember all the healing and the healed ones who went before us. The ones who survived, who thrived, who were able to access their joy even while they were afraid, confused, uncertain. May we praise those who break cycles of harm and violence, for they sow peace and change in this world. We are made of stardust and silence. We can access joy and hope and love as well as sorrow and despair. If you find a truth inside any sacred text anywhere in this world, embrace it and ask how it compares to the love within your heart. Bring it here and ask how it compares to the love in our community. Hold it inside and give it space and silence. Share it with those you love best and ask what it sparks in them. There is renewal available for us. There is rebirth available for every one of us. All the mud and dust of us that both fill the universe and are only the tiniest speck within it. We hold the contradictions of human existence within us, each one, and still we continue. We still seek joy and connection and the truth within the hearts of us all. We still gather to do good, to sow good in the world, and that is the promise and the hope of Easter. That is the resurrection we aspire to, that all we gather to do points us to the time beyond the suffering, that all we plant are things that will bear fruit long beyond our time here. What a beautiful thing that is. What a beautiful thing we are. So may we continue to be. Beautiful. We come now to that time in our service where we invite you into generosity. Every week, we collect an offering. Your time, your talent, and your treasure do help us continue the vital work of this congregation in our community. The ushers will now gratefully accept the offering.
singing, ringing river that my soul cries out, my soul cries out to the Lord. I believe it keeps on traveling, but it rests on the Sabbath day. And the time when it pauses in stillness, I almost hear it say. May the time not be too distant when we meet by the river, meet by the shore. Till then, dream of that wonderful day when we sing once more, once more. There is a river in Judea that I heard of long ago, and it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out, my soul cries out to the river in Judea that I heard of long ago. Hallelujah, it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out, my soul cries out to the river in Judea. Hallelujah.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for the generosity of your offering. You can go here. Go ahead and bring it up. So, okay. Henry needs to leave, so we're going to say thank you for the offering. Thank you. And they're going to take it and count it instead of doing that afterwards. So thank you. There's a little extra there. But thank you for your generosity this morning.
I'm Jane Harrison. I hope you can hear this from the caring committee. How do I put it down? Okay. I'm not used to this.
It's fine. It's new. It's a new microphone, everybody. It's great.
I'm not used to this. Okay.
Great, Jane.
Thank you. But anyway, I want to personally thank Bach. I cry every time I hear Bach. And of course, one of my favorite pieces of music in the world, The River in Judea. Love it. Thank you, thank you. I've been kind of misty-eyed this morning. As you know, I'm from the Caring Committee, and every Sunday you hear if you have a joy or concern you want to share with the congregation, please let somebody from the Caring Committee know. If you or somebody in the church office on Sunday mornings, you can write it in the Lifelines book, which we keep in the altar, and we share it with the congregation. We have two joys and concerns both this morning. First of all, Jim Ovenhauser had surgery approximately a week ago, and he's recovering, he's doing well. He's recovering with his son in Richmond. And Teresa Poole had complications from her recent surgery and is back in Roanoke Memorial. Hopefully, I talked to her this morning very briefly, and she said she's feeling better, and with a little bit of luck, she'll be going home today. You're taking, yeah. If you have a secret joy or concern in your heart and you would like to share it with the congregation at this point, please come forward and light a candle using both sides of our altar.
Thank you. We'll light a candle this week for everyone for whom this is a sacred time. For all of our Jewish siblings and cousins celebrating Passover this week, that their seders were wonderful and hearty and fed the spirit as well as the body earlier this week. That our Christian siblings and cousins are having a meaningful and joyous Easter in slightly different ways, knowing that for many people this is just a day to sleep in, and I hope they like that too. And we light this for everyone. The candles over here kind of make a heart. And I light this one as I do every week for those who are joining us online, who are able to be here in spirit only, if not in body. Oh, and I'm also going to add, this is in memory of Sarah Broughton, who's we've talked about her several times, but her celebration of life was yesterday, and these beautiful flowers are still here from that. So we're also going to light one in celebration of Sarah. I'm also going to remind, whenever there are new people, please try to put candles in from the back to the front so that we do not have to put our hands over open flames. It's safer for all of us. So I do need to remember to say that it's a little closing the barn door after the horse right now, but I know we're going to remember it the next time. So thank you all. Thanks for hanging in there. We're almost to the end. And now, if you'll prepare yourself for a brief pause for prayer and reflection, settle in your seats, make yourself comfortable, feet on the floor if you would like. Maybe you feel comfortable closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Spirit of renewal and hope. The green spring in the desert, the freedom a people were brought to, the hope that rises again and again in spring. These are ancient stories we make anew every year, trying to find the seed of truth in them, in our hearts, knowing they can be misused, but they can also be brought to beautiful bear upon all that is our lives. In the day-to-day struggle, when we may feel remote from joy, we can find that seed within us, maybe planted long ago, maybe something you found here, maybe a thing you read last week. Wherever you find it, if it brings you to feelings that help you get past these times of challenge, cultivate that within your hearts. Let us grow together in peace and love. So may it be.
And now, as we draw close to the end of our time together in worship this week, we turn our attention from the joys and concerns within our own hearts and to the work of the week ahead. We begin with a few announcements. Thank you to the amazing team of volunteers who gave so much of their time and energy last Sunday to give a grand welcome to the Gay Men's Chorus of Washington, D.C. Everyone who was able to attend knows how special this event was. We hope to welcome them again next spring. We gathered a large number of volunteers in a short period of time, and we know that they felt our welcome deeply, so thank you. On Saturday, April 11th, we are honored to welcome Reverend Letitia Lee from Virginia Interfaith Power and Light, giving a presentation entitled An Intersection Between Environmental, Energy, and Racial Justice at 10:30 a.m. here in the sanctuary. The event is free, but registration is required by Wednesday, April 8th. Please reach out to Carol Rowan to register. In our April newsletter column, Rev Jen put out a call for members of the UUCR to serve as delegates to the annual General Assembly, the annual meeting and conference of the Unitarian Universalist Association. This year's conference is fully virtual, and it is a great opportunity to learn more deeply about the work of our faith in the country and to get to know some of our fellow UCCR members more deeply too. Virtual delegates serving the congregation this year will gather for fellowship as well as business. We have 4 slots total available for delegates, and the board has pledged to provide funds to cover your registration. Please email revgen@uuroanoke.org if you are interested in serving as a delegate.
Thank you. Thank you, Wynn. I will now invite Wynn to extinguish our chalice, as is being done in churches, congregations, and communities of Unitarian Universalists around the nation and the world, knowing that the light of the chalice does not continue in our sanctuary throughout the week, but we carry it forward in our hearts. And you may notice in your order of service that rather than putting a benediction after our benediction and song, which we will all join in a moment, there's a part there that says closing words. What are closing words? Well, we had a very lovely and small group come to our sunrise service this morning. It was very beautiful. Milt Marks, who is with his wife off at a Methodist church today for the main service, but who often joins our choir and is a talented songwriter and also a retired Methodist pastor. He shared some beautiful music that was original, but he also shared one of my favorite songs of all time that I kind of forgot existed until he shared it and never thought about hearing it on Easter. So my closing words are going to be sung, and then we will lead into our ending song. This is a song called Show the Way by David Wilcox. And the chorus is, "For it's love who makes the mortar, and it's love who stacks these stones, and it's love who made the stage here, though it looks like we're alone. In this scene set in shadow, like the night is here to stay, there is evil cast around us, but it's love that wrote the play. In this darkness, love will show the way."
As is our custom, please stand, join hands with your neighbor, and let's draw a wide circle around our sanctuary. Thank you.
There's a lot of us, but if we can squish around and make a circle or even just hold hands with the people still in chairs, that would be beautiful. Thank you. Or make multiple circles. It's great.
All right, why don't we just sing?
Okay, you can turn my
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wide Thank you.